Hello, friends, how are you? We, the humans of today, have lots and lots of facilities, modern technological gadgets, all meant to make our life easier, comfortable, more enjoyable. For the purpose of pleasing the human being of today, the modern times. Now, as a result of all that, there is a very little hard work left for us to perform. This is the reason that people are seen running, jogging, walking, doing plenty of other exercises, practicing in the gym, because there is little or no physical activity otherwise. Everything else or most of the things have become easier, just a click away. Does it mean that the human being of today is happier than the human being of 100 years back? The answer is no. It's not the case at all. If I say that the people of today, we people have more psychological complications and troubles as compared to the people of earlier times, there will be no exaggeration in it at all. The easier the life is becoming, the more and more psychological complications are developing. But here in this field as well, new and new techniques of treating these psychological illnesses and complications are being developed as well. So, dear friends and fellows, we are going to discuss and debate upon something which is highly beneficial for all the people who are seen experiencing the psychological troubles. They are quite dissatisfied and unhappy with their life. One technique which has been proven very useful and beneficial, that is called grounding technique. This grounding technique is the topic of our today's talk. So let's begin. First of all, we would like to know what is the technical definition of the grounding technique. Grounding techniques help calm your mind and body by focusing on the present moment. Grounding techniques, which are many in number, help calm your mind and body by focusing on the present moment. Now, the question arises, why to use these grounding techniques at all? What are the benefits? There are several benefits. 5 of these are more important. The first very important benefit of the grounding technique is it reduces stress and anxiety. Overwhelming majority of the people today suffer from this trouble which is called anxiety and stress. In the language of common people, it is called tension. So the grounding techniques reduces anxiety and stress. The second major benefit of this is it manages flashback and trauma on flashback of the trauma. We need to manage it, we need to handle it, we need to somehow reduce or minimize the negative effects of the trauma and the flashback of trauma. So here in this case, the grounding techniques helps a lot. The third major benefit of the grounding techniques is it improves emotional regulation. It improves emotional regulation. We, the human beings, are highly and greatly influenced by our emotions. If at all these emotions are managed and regulated, it becomes quite helpful, beneficial. On contrary to that, if at all we are unable to manage, it becomes the biggest trouble creators. So the grounding techniques improves emotional regulation. The fourth major benefit of grounding technique is it enhances mindfulness. Mindfulness. What is this mindfulness? Mindfulness means a state of mind achieved by consciously focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations, but all that without judgment, without calling this bad or good. So it improves emotion, it improves mindfulness. Mindfulness in itself is something extremely beneficial. I'm not trying to exaggerate the benefits of the mindfulness, but mindfulness is something where I need the books have been written on the subject. So the fifth and the last major benefit of the grounding technique is it promotes relaxation. All of us need to keep ourselves relaxed enough, particularly once we are not at work after the whole day of work. Relaxation is desperately and direly needed. So the grounding techniques promote relaxation. So these are the five major benefits. Five major benefits of grounding techniques. Now we are going to talk about the grounding techniques. So there are physical, there are mental, there are sensory grounding techniques. To begin with the physical grounding techniques, which are only five in number. Number one, it is deep breathing exercises. Inhale as long as you can. Retain the air in the lungs for some of the time and then gradually release it. So that is called deep breathing exercises, having lots and lots of benefits. The second physical grounding technique is progressive muscle relaxation. What is this, by the way? Lie down, relax your body, focus on your feet, both of these, including the ankles. Make it as tight and stiff as you can, physically as well as in the imagination. Hold it for 2-3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, then gradually release it, both physically and mentally. Then after this, focus on your legs, lower legs, above the ankle to the knees, both of these. Try to pull it physically as well as in the imagination. hold it for few seconds and then gradually release it, and do it with every part of the body, every part of the body, all the four limbs, and then the torso, the face. It has its own numerous benefits. So that is called progressive muscle relaxation technique. The third physical grounding technique is walking barefoot. Walking barefoot without the shoes, preferably on the unpaved ground. If it is sand, mud, or watery mud, grass, it is also very beneficial. You might have seen some of the people are doing that in the parks, walking barefoot, particularly in the morning. And when the dewdrops are there in the grass, they do it. People are doing it since centuries, walking in the mud, and even we can walk on the floor, but preferably it should be unpaved ground. That is walking barefoot. The fourth physical grounding technique is called tactile stimulation. Tactile stimulation. What is this? This is getting your body massaged. Do it yourself. Hug a loved one, family member. Kiss your children. Hug your children. Or even if at all, if you have kept some sort of pets, cat or dog or any other animal which is familiar to you, touching them, touching their skin, and letting them touch your skin as well. So that is called tactile stimulation. Even if at all we are playing with a teddy bear the way children do, stuffed animals, plants, all of that is very beneficial. The fifth and the last physical grounding technique is physical activity like yoga, like stretching, or any form of the physical activity. It could be the athletics, sports, walking, jogging, running, yoga, aerobics, weightlifting, gym, whatever form of physical activity you can do, even if at all there is a physical labor somewhere else. So that is called physical activity. The fifth and the last physical grounding technique. These are 5 in number, very beneficial indeed. Moving to the next step, there are sensory grounding techniques. Sensory grounding techniques. What are these? It is noticing the sights, sounds, and the smells. Sights, sounds, and the smells. If at all you are somewhere where there are plenty of trees, plants, and the wind is blowing, the birds are chirping, whatever sight of sounds, natural, even the music, or the beautifully recited verses of Quran. So that is all it is, noticing the sights, sounds, and the smells as well. Smell of the food or any other item, smell of the flower, smell of the mud. The second sensory grounding technique is mindful listening. Mindful listening. What is this, by the way? Being in the nature and focus and concentrate upon the chirping of the birds, the waterfall sounds, or if at all the wind is blowing and the trees and the are creating any sort of sounds, So that is all natural sounds. Focusing and concentrate upon. It is called mindful listening, a second sensory grounding technique. The third sensory grounding technique is aromatherapy. Aromatherapy. What is this? Calming scents. There are, perfumes and other scents. So smelling the calming scents. So that is called aromatherapy. The fourth sensory grounding technique is taste exploration. What is this, by the way? Whatever you are eating it very, very slowly, focus and concentrate upon the flavor, upon the taste of it. So that is called taste exploration. The fifth and the last sensory grounding technique is visual focus. What is this, by the way? Lit a candle and focus and concentrate upon it, upon its flame. Lit a candle, preferably in the dark, one candle only, burning in the dark, focus and concentrate upon its flame. So that is called visual focus. We talked about the physical grounding techniques, we talked about the sensory grounding techniques. Lastly, we are going to talk about mental grounding techniques. These are also five in number. First of all, it is mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness and meditation. Meditate, I think it is one of the finest things, finest favors we can do to ourselves. 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening, or at least once in the daytime, once only, if at all we are unable to do it twice, doing it once only for 20 minutes. So that is called, that is meditation. And the mindfulness, I defined it earlier, let me define it again, that a state of mind achieved by consciously focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations, but all that without any sort of judgment, without calling it good or bad. So that is mindfulness and meditation. The second is positive self talk, affirmations, positive self talk. To the surprise of many people, we talk a lot with ourselves, and many a times this self talk is negative, and a negative self talk have a lot of negative effects upon our psychology, upon our state of mind, upon our feelings, upon our performances here and there. So we need to replace it with a positive self talk, and that can be done by consciously exploring, by wherever we listen a positive sentence of word, listen it, read it, or we conceive it, then memorize it. Having plenty of positive sentences and words which inspires us, motivates us, and keep repeating it many a times in the daytime, and repeating it with enough emotional force, with quite a lot of emotions involved in it, doing it enthusiastically, it will become more effective. So the second mental grounding technique is called affirmations or positive self-talk. The third mental grounding technique is creative expression. Creative expression, drawing or creative writing. Writing, journaling have a lot of psychological benefit. Journaling mean writing your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences, your reflection upon the experiences, all of that, keep writing, but does not mean that we have to get it published, does not mean that we have to retain it for the rest of the life. We can simply destroy it after the writing, but it has a lot of beneficial, impact upon our psychology. So that is creative expression. The fourth mental grounding technique is called, mental anchoring. What is this, by the way? It is focusing on a phrase, any beautiful, any inspiring, motivational phrase. Choose it carefully, then try to focus and concentrate upon it for some of the time. So it is called mental anchoring. The fifth and the last mental grounding technique is gratitude practices. Gratitude practices. What is this, by the way? What is the need of it? A whole book or many of the books could be written on the subject, but we can talk very briefly here. We are often seen complaining and criticizing. Complaining and criticizing. But I think it is damaging us a lot psychologically. What we are seen focused upon, what we are lacking, what we don't have, what we are unable to avail, what we are unable to benefit from, what is not available to us. So that is something very bad indeed, having lots of destructive effects upon our psychology, upon our personality, upon our performance, upon our lives. We need to do something quite opposite to that. What is this, by the way? It is focus and concentrate upon what we are having, what we are possessing, what we are benefiting from. So, even if at all it is very small, very trivial, not major, not bigger, despite all that, we need to stay focused upon, we need to concentrate upon, we need to be grateful upon, we need to take the maximum advantage of all that for ourselves, for our loved ones, and for the rest of the people as well. So that is how we can develop the attitude of gratitude. But let me assure you that simple one thing, if at all I and you, if at all we do ensure that I have adopted the attitude of gratitude, we will become a totally different person. We will become a far more vibrant person, far more successful person, far more happier person, far more likable person. So that is actually one simple thing which is called gratitude. Gratitude, 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 and an attitude of gratitude. So, dear friends and fellows, we have talked upon the grounding techniques, the different aspects of it, the different types of the grounding techniques like mental, physical, sensory, etc., the benefit, the utility, the need of all that. So, my dear friends and fellows, that was something highly important and very beneficial indeed. And now we are going to conclude it by certain very simple tips, quick tips. These are also 5 in number. First of all, use grounding techniques regularly. Using the grounding techniques regularly for the optimal, for the maximum benefit. Number 2, the second quick tip is find what works best for you. We have presented many of the grounding techniques in front of you. Try all that, but focus and concentrate upon what works best for you and make it a regular practice of yours. The third quick tip is practice in daily life situations. Practicing in daily life situations which are different in type. Number 4, combine techniques for enhanced benefit. Combine techniques for enhanced effects. Yes, combining of the techniques for the enhanced effect. Fifth and the last quick tip is that seek professional help when needed. Seeking professional help when needed. If you think that you are unable to manage yourself despite all of the effort, then it is very important indeed that go to a therapist, go to a professional psychiatrist, pay them and seek their help. So, dear friends, that is all from me today. Thank you very much.